I don't care if I...
Sandy into his windup. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed a perfect game.
High fly ball into right field. She is gone. In a year that has been so improbable, the impossible has happened. Fernando Valenzuela has pitched a no-hitter. Thank you, Kershaw. This is a no-hitter. It is gone. It is a walk-off home run for Justin Turner. It's over. Muncy, a walk-off home run. This is way back. Walk 'em off. Chris Taylor.
Give me some peanuts and cracker jack. I don't care if I never...
Shohei Ohtani throwing again in San Francisco. Could he come back this season? Is there any chance of that happening? We got big injury updates. Jason Hayward could be back this week. What will the Dodgers do? Will they option James Outman? Will they DFA Chris Taylor? Will someone have an injury? We have a phantom IL stint. All that more coming up next here on Dodgers Dugout Live.
It's time for Dodger baseball.
Welcome to Dodger Stadium.
Dodgers win.
This is the golden age of Dodger baseball.
Grand slam. It's a double for Freddie. Mookie magic.
They're going to make big signings. They're going to make impact trades. This is the most anticipated season in Dodgers history.
Dodgers have won it all in 2020.
Big blue, bleed blue, and I'm out. What is up, Dodgers Nation? Doug McKain here, credential member of Dodgers Media. You can follow me on X and Instagram at DMAC_LA. And if you haven't yet, do us a huge favor and subscribe to the Dodgers Nation YouTube channel. Hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, hit that like button. Join the party. Over 90,000 subscribers, and we're trying to get to 95,000. And the moment we do, we are giving away another jersey. This time it's going to be a Shohei Ohtani Road Gray Dodgers jersey. Authentic number 17. And all you have to do to win it is two things. Make sure, one, subscribe to the channel, and two, comment GOAT Tani down below. GOAT Tani. GOAT Tani. Comment that down below, and you're going to be eligible to win. Of course, every show starts with the Dodgers Dugout Live poll question of the show, and I asked you guys over on the X, how would you make room for Jason Hayward on the Dodgers active roster? Right now, we got over 3,000 votes, and 50% of you say DFA Chris Taylor, 39% say option James Outman, 6% say option Gavin Lux, and 5% say other. So that shows you right there. Dodgers fans would rather DFA Chris Taylor than option James Outman. We're going to dive deep into that topic in a little bit. But first, this episode of Dodgers Dugout Live is brought to you by BetOnline. BetOnline is your number one source for all your summer sports this season, from Major League Baseball to golf to the NBA to the NHL, with playoff stats, all the latest news and scores available to follow your favorite teams. Get the latest odds and lines, including the latest team matchups, player props, and odds on just about every sport out there. Head to the website today to use your mobile app to get in on the action. BetOnline, where the game starts. So before we dive into our first topic today, before we do the leadoff, let me know down below, where are you representing Dodgers Nation from? Give me any takes you guys have, because to my left, I got super producer Mr. Antonio Taters. To my left, he's rocking with us today, as always. And what he's looking for all your takes, all of your fire takes. If you guys bring a hot take, a sizzling, lava, spicy hot take, you're going to see one of these. If we see any burns, any roasts, you know we love that around here, you're going to see one of these.
Finish him.
Anything a little sus, usually by Nando or Noel or one of these guys, you're going to get one of these.
Bruh.
Little bruh action. And for a comment of the show, you're going to see one of these. So definitely drop those comments down below, and let's see what we have. We got Javier Salas. How much would the Dodgers lose in DFAing Taylor? It's not what they would lose per se as far as financially. I mean, he still has 2 years on his deal. He signed originally a 4-year, $60 million contract with the Dodgers. So he's 2 years into that. So you got less than $30 million now because you're already into the season, right? So you're already into May at this point. So you still have under $30 million if they were going to eat that contract. Now, would the Dodgers consider doing that? I'm not so sure they would. I think that the more realistic option for Chris Taylor is either a phantom IL stint. Let's say, oh, he tripped and he kind of rolled his ankle, or, oh, man, that hamstring's starting to bark. Oh, man, my oblique is starting to bark a little bit. That would probably be the more realistic scenario. You send him to Arizona. He gets to press that reset button, and then you give him time to really break down that swing a little bit. You give him time to look at the iPad and break down all the finite details and try to find something that works. But we're going to dive into that a little more in a bit. We got Joe Mama. What up, Joe Mama? I'll give you a fire take for that. We got D-Mac. I need that hat. I don't want the Ohtani jersey. Joe Mama, look, keep putting that in the comments. Mr. Gary Lee, he's on it. He's going to get the gray. He's going to get the black. We're working on a prize package for you guys. We're working on a prize package for you guys that are always in the comments. We're going to do something extra special for you guys that watch every single day. So we're giving away lots of really cool stuff this season. We're doing different giveaways. So the most important thing is you're always rocking with the show. We got Richard Flores. The City Connect jerseys are god awful. People wearing pajamas at Walmart think they're bad. Yeah, I mean, like we had to apologize to the San Fernando swap meet because we thought they were going to be at that swap meet. No, absolutely not. Like I said, it looks like funfetti, look like a Pop-Tart. I don't know what the hats are going to have. They're probably going to have candles all over it because it looked like a birthday cake. But we'll wait to see if those are the real ones. I tend to believe, based on what I've heard, that those are the rumored ones, and we'll wait and see. I did see a pretty cool mock-up of them in navy with the navy pants and the hat, but yeah, look, for me, I was not into them at all because I love the Dodgers uniforms. But we got Ohtani, we got Funfetti from Johnny Owen. Is there anyone out there that liked the jerseys, by the way? Remember, what I always say is we don't always have the same opinion. Look, I don't care if we have the same opinion. I just get that you watch and comment, and I get your takes on all things Dodger baseball. We got Javier Salas. JP hasn't allowed a run in his last 5 outings. Shout out to JP Fireeisen. He gets a let's go Dodgers. Hayden Magnum, do you think the Dodgers could make a trade for Royce Lewis? I don't think they're quite there for the trading portion of the season. I think they're in the evaluation part of the season where they're assessing what they do have. Who are they going to roll with? Royce Lewis, he's an interesting player. The Minnesota Twins actually are having a good year. Could he be a shortstop that they trade for? I mean, he has a sub 200 batting average, but you guys know I don't care too much about that. More to Wade Arden's Creative Plus, OPS. He has 840 OPS, 2 home runs. But things, we'll talk about that in a second here. Let's start with the leadoff. The leadoff today, it's got the leadoff. The biggest story in Dodger baseball right now is Shohei Ohtani. Shohei Ohtani, he was throwing again. He resumed his throwing program yesterday in San Francisco. And no, this wasn't a true bullpen session or anything like that. He just happens to be throwing there. I saw a Japanese news report said that they had to go there because it was the flattest surface. So he's there. He's putting in work. You see Shohei. He's got the consistent mechanics. And for me, just looking at this, and I know that this is me dreaming, right? This is me dreaming here, but Shohei looks like he's progressing extremely well. Shohei looks like he's progressing to the point where you just kind of wonder. You just kind of wonder because they never said during his press conference, they never said or acknowledged that it was a Tommy John surgery. They were very careful to not give it that Tommy John surgery label. And we know that there is the new brace surgery. I did a whole video breaking down the new Tommy John brace surgery. And what that does is it cuts down the recovery time. It cuts down the recovery time. And could Shohei Ohtani be back? Could he be back this season and maybe pitch? I don't think that he would ever make a start in the postseason. I don't think that he would ever start a game in the end of the regular season, anything like that. That's on the table. They've already said that he's most likely ruled out. They said he's ruled out for the 2024 season. Then we'll see him in 2025. They did say that, right? But I'm just saying, the way that he's progressing, it's the brace surgery. It's Shohei Ohtani. I was texting with someone today who was definitely as in the know as you can be when it comes to the Dodgers. And I asked him, I said, look, let's say it's game 7 of the World Series. The Dodgers need 3 outs and Shohei Ohtani can pitch. You think they let him do it? And what I was told is they said it's up to him, right? So a little tongue in cheek there, but it lets me know that is there more than a 0% chance is what I want to know. I'm not sure there isn't, but just think about how electric that would be. Think of how mad the world would be. Baseball fans that are already hating on the Dodgers because they have signed the best player of all time, the most talented player of all time in Shohei Ohtani. Can you imagine if we got WBC Shohei Ohtani, who went out there and got the final 3 outs of the World Series? I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm not saying it's likely that it's going to happen. But when I see Shohei Ohtani, he's not from this planet, right? This is Superman in baseball cleats. By the way, you guys do remember he pitches, right? I mean, this is a guy. This is a guy who pitches at an elite ace level. This is a guy who pitches almost as well as he hits, and it just makes you really, really wonder. And of course, look, I think there's going to be a lot of pressure on Shohei Ohtani when he pitches, just because he has a lot of big shoes to fill, right, Antonio? When you look at the two-way players we've seen for this organization, you've seen Kike Hernandez, Russell Martin, Justin Turner. We've had some great two-way players that can hit and they can pitch. Ohtani, he's going to be the next great one. But like I said, I saw this yesterday, and I like Angel Paris says, D-Mac, let's give away a Tommy John jersey. It's a fire take. I saw this yesterday, and I just couldn't help myself but think, man, that internal brace surgery, it's so effective. He appears to be progressing well, and it just makes you really, really wonder if there's any chance late in the year, last game of the season. Probably not, but let's just say, let's dream for a second. That would be incredible. And the most important thing here is that he's progressing well and that he's going to be on schedule. And the really reason why I brought up this topic was to make it clear out there that let's not forget the Dodgers are getting a surefire bona fide ace to add to a rotation that has 2 surefire bona fide aces already in Yoshinobu Yamamoto and Tyler Glasnow. So the most important thing is, yes, you don't want to rush him back. And honestly, hopefully they don't need him. The best thing for the Dodgers would be if they either have found a elite reliever or everyone stays healthy and they're able to get the job done, or the offense is so good in the postseason that you don't even need a high leverage moment to finish a World Series. But can you imagine? That would be the most electric moment in baseball, to have Shohei Ohtani go out there. And I was just dreaming of it. So let's read some comments here. We got I'll be back. I'll be back. You got the Terminator from One-Eyed Dragon. Goat Ohtani. We got Don. It was a win last night, but does Rojas get to that ground ball that scored the Giants' 4th run? Bets at second base, Rojas to start at shortstop. Dan Brown, valid question, good question. There were actually 2 plays yesterday with Mookie Betts where he was at shortstop, where it makes you wonder, would Miguel Rojas, would the best shortstop defensively, be able to get to that? Would a Mookie Betts that had more experience and more years playing that position at the highest level get to that? Well, here we go. When Sable had that infield single to short in the 2nd inning, that led to the 3-run home run, right? That had a 400 expected batting average. Now, the ball was hit pretty hard, but at 400 expected batting average, I think the fact that Mookie, where he was positioned a little closer to the bag, the fact that he was able to get to it was already pretty impressive. But even if he gets to it, makes the throw, it's going to be a tough bang-bang play either way. Could a elite shortstop get to that and make the play? Sure, they could. But doesn't mean that it was a routine play. Then you look at the single that Helio Ramos, the Ramos single from in the 6th inning, that one, that was 108.2 miles per hour off the bat with a 430 expected batting average. So both of those plays had expected batting averages of over 400. They weren't easy plays. That second one, especially from Ramos, that led to a run scoring, that was a very difficult play to make. But you guys know that Mookie is still transitioning to this position. He's still building those instincts, right? Where he's making these reads and getting these quick jumps. And I think for me, Mookie can take as many ground balls, as many, and work on the backhand and work on the throw. He can take as many ground balls at shortstop and spend hours and hours doing it. The thing that's tough to teach is just kind of God-given range, right? That lateral quickness from left to right. And I think that's probably the area where if you look at Mookie's ability to play that position, that's probably the area that if you had to pick a struggle area, that's it. It's just getting to balls left and right. I mean, look, with his offense, I mean, it was good to see Mookie get it going offensively yesterday, but I think that's an area where you kind of look at. So should he have made those plays? No, he shouldn't have. You can't expect him to. But still, I think there are shortstops that could have made those plays. We got a big-time super chat. Roy Estrada coming through, $49.99. I feel like I won the lottery here. D-Mac, your take on splitting up Teoscar and Muncy in the lineup, batting Muncy ninth. Muncy would be better. Okay, let's see this. Okay, can you highlight that real quick? D-Mac, there we go. Roy Estrada, $49.99, a 50 piece. D-Mac, your take on splitting up Teoscar and Muncy in the lineup and batting Muncy ninth. Muncy would see better pitches because he has 1 through 4 behind him, plus Muncy walks a lot. Muncy and Teoscar back-to-back leaves too many risp thoughts. So you make some really good points there. Yes, Muncy does take his walks. Yes, that would lengthen the lineup. But I think what the Dodgers want to do is they want to see how this lineup is going to look with, one, a Gavin Lux that's starting to break out, and 2, Jason Hayward back in the lineup. Are they going to get anything close to the Jason Hayward that we saw last year, that against right-handed pitching was an above-average bat who understands situational hitting, who is a veteran that can put the ball in play when they need to put the ball in play? They can give you a sacrifice fly. So, look, I know some people think Hayward isn't going to be that guy, right? Last year, you guys were telling me Hayward was hay-washed. Well, guess what? He proved everyone wrong. He had 15 home runs, and I think there's a decent chance that he comes back and he performs somewhere close to that level. As far as putting Muncy at the bottom of the lineup, I think the dangerous thing with that is when Muncy is right and he's hitting home runs and he's slugging, he was in a little mini slump himself. I mean, Muncy was in a little mini slump last night himself. He had an 0 for 14 skid, and he had a 1-out single there in the top of the 4th inning. When Muncy's right, he can make up for a cold stretch for Mookie Betts, a cold stretch for Freddie Freeman. And sure, if you just want to give him the most at bats as possible. I mean, that's really the danger there. Anytime you bat someone down the lineup like that, who's a clutch hitter, who is a 30-plus home run hitter, he's a perennial home run hitter, you're just not going to bat him ninth. Let's not forget, Max Muncy has the most home runs of any Dodger since he started playing for this team back in 2018. He's been prolific at the plate with leaving the yard, and you just want to give a guy like that more at-bats. And then Teoscar Hernandez, he does strike out a little bit too much at times, but he also does damage too. So I think their 1 through 6 is pretty set in stone. But let's do a little 3 up, 3 down, 3 things I liked, 3 things I didn't like from yesterday. And one thing I do like is the Dodgers being every team's World Series. The Dodgers being the greatest show in baseball right now, and that's because of the big show, Mr. Shohei Ohtani. And yesterday, we saw in the stands Masanori Murakami, the first Japanese-born Major League Baseball player. No, it wasn't Hideo Nomo, right? It was Masanori Murakami, who back on September 1st, 1964, became the first Japanese player to ever appear at a big league game. And I thought it was really cool to see him there watching Yamamoto, watching Shohei Ohtani. But I also thought it was pretty funny that the Giants are trying to capitalize off of the Los Angeles Dodgers. Are the Dodgers all the Giants have these days? Because their attendance has plummeted, and the Dodgers are already outdrawing them in San Francisco. A couple years ago, we saw the Giants selling Dodgers merch at San Francisco's Oracle Park, and now you're planning this game with Murakami. Maybe that's the only way Murakami would agree to come. Maybe they were saying the Giants probably hit up Murakami like, hey, we want to come in, have you throw the first pitch. And he was like, I'll go as long as it's when we play the Dodgers, as long as it's when Yamamoto is starting. I get to see Ohtani. So Murakami is probably a fan of the Dodgers, and that's probably why he was there for that game. So, hey, the Giants, I'm glad we could help. I mean, I'm sorry you weren't able to sign Arson Judge, check that Aaron Judge, right? And you haven't been able to lure in that superstar. So, yeah, enjoy the Mickey Mouse ears night, because It seems like the Dodgers are a big part of the Giants' promotional schedule. They're a big part of them trying to get butts in the seats where they've struggled in recent years. And yeah, we're glad we can help. Guess what? Another example, reason number 5,715,000 why Shohei Ohtani on the Dodgers is great for baseball. But Ohtani is pretty good. That's from One Eye Dragon. That's definitely awesome. John Cortez, D-Mac, that's a Vin Scully caliber game fact. There we go. Give you a good let's go Dodgers right there. But let's jump into our 3 up, 3 down. So the first up, gotta get a let's go Dodgers, is you had some of the best Dodgers, some of their best hitters. They were coming out of slumps yesterday. You had Mookie Betts, Will Smith, and Max Muncy getting out of their slumps. You had Mookie and Will getting out of their power slumps. And Mookie wasted no time there. The first inning, he hits a leadoff home run, and he goes yard. The 7th time of the year he's gone big fly. It was also his 50th home run, his 50th Betts bomb from the leadoff spot. He became the 5th player in Major League Baseball history to join the 50 leadoff home run club. He joined George Springer, Alfonso Soriano, Craig Biggio, and my favorite, Ricky Henderson. No sound. So check it out. We'll do it again. Here we go. Boom! Mookie Betts leaves the yard like at 7th time of the year. He's hit a Betts bomb. Mookie living his Betts life. And you see it's a sweeper hanging on the inner half, and he turns on it. He has not been seeing strikes lately, so that's one of the big reasons why the slug has been down for Marcus Lynn Betts. But he hits his 7th home run. He hits his 50th leadoff home run, and that sets the tone. The Dodgers, they go up on top early. Like I said, just 5 players in big league history that have hit 50 leadoff home runs, and Ricky Henderson is a player I've always been obsessed with. Ricky Henderson is here's my insane stat of the day. You ready for this? Back on July 29th, 1989, Randy Johnson walked Ricky Henderson 4 times, 3 times to lead off an inning. And on that day, Henderson went 0 for 0, but he had 5 stolen bases and 4 runs scored in that game against the Mariners. Ricky Henderson, for his career, I mean, over 1,400 stolen bases. 1,400. You know what you would have to do to get that? You would need 70 stolen bases per year for 20 years. No one has more than 1,000 swipe bags. He stole 130 stolen bases in 1982. The record is Hugh Nickel, who stole 138 back before the live ball era, before 1900. So, yeah, Ricky Henderson is awesome. There's a story where Ricky Henderson actually framed a $1 million check that he received from the A's, and the A's were doing their books, and they're like, we have an extra $1 million. And they realized that Ricky Henderson just had framed that check and didn't even cash it. I also love the story of Ricky Henderson where they were talking about Bible verses, and someone said John 3:16, and Ricky Henderson interrupted him and said, I don't want to hear about John hitting 3:16. Ricky's hitting 3:20. So, hey, Ricky Henderson, this guy would steal 200 bases with these pizza box bases and these new rules today. But getting back to the point, Mookie, he had 2 hits yesterday. Could have been a 3rd hit if not for a great catch there in the outfield by Yastrzemski. And then Max Muncy, he snapped an 0 for 14 skid with a 1-out single there in the top of the 4th inning. But the player of the game was Will Smith. So Will Smith, he had been grinding. He had been grinding at the plate, and he was riding an 0 for 21 skid. And then he gets a base hit off of Tyler Rogers to lead off the top of the 8th inning. And then he was the hero in the 10th. The clutch prince went to work after Shohei Ohtani struck out. Freddie Freeman, he drew a 1-out walk. That set the Dodgers up with runners on 1st and 2nd and 1 out. And then Will Smith, he cranks a 2-out double to put the Dodgers ahead 6-4. And Will Smith, just like that, is back in. Look, there's only a handful of guys that I would handpick to say, you know what? Big situation, big spot, big game. I need a hit. Smitty comes through. I dubbed him the clutch prince of the ravine, and he still is that. One of the best clutch hitters in the game. Love me some Smitty. So one of the big takeaways yesterday was you had some of these slumping Dodgers like Mookie, like Smith, like Muncy. They broke out of their slumps. Mookie was his first home run in almost a month, right? First home run in over a month. And we were talking about his power outage, and I think he probably watches this show because he definitely proved us wrong yesterday, and he left the yard. Now, my first down is Yamamoto's command was off. Yoshinobu Yamamoto didn't have the worst start. Still went out there and went 5 2/3, gave up 4 runs. Wasn't an awful start or anything like that, but the command was a little off. And he had been rolling since his rough first inning against the Padres in Seoul, South Korea, where he get 5 runs and threw 43 pitches. Since then, he had posted a 1.76 ERA. But the good news is we've seen him struggle in that first frame. In the first inning, he was really good. It was the second inning where he got in trouble. He allowed a leadoff single to Flores. He struck out Ramos looking with a nasty curveball. And then Sable, he reached on an infield single to shortstop. We talked about that play. It hit Mookie's glove. He was unable to make that play. And then with 2 on, Matos, he comes to the plate. He crushes a 3-run home run to make it 3-1 Giants, a hanging curveball, top of the zone. And he really doesn't walk guys, and he doesn't give up home runs. He's given up some home runs this season, especially when you compare it to his time in the NPB. And right there, just a hanging curveball. Just a hanging curveball, top of the zone. In Mato's credit, he crushes it for a dinger. That gave the Giants the lead at that point. And he just wasn't hitting his spots. It wasn't as crisp and as clean as we've seen. And it was really interesting. I was watching the Giants broadcast. And I noticed that they were showing the umpires going over to Yamamoto. If you can see in this clip right here, they're looking at his glove, and they're probably like, man, it's a sick glove, man. Nike, you got the swoosh, you got your name, you got the 18 on the pocket right there. They actually made him switch his glove, and the reason for that was because you see the white swoosh, you see the white lettering and the white embroidery. The rule book indicates that you can't have anything that would camouflage the ball. So if you remember, they made Yamamoto change his glove because they thought maybe the smaller glove was leading to pitches being tipped and him tipping pitches. So he went to the bigger glove. That was actually the bigger glove. So I found that pretty interesting yesterday. And he ends up really cruising after that inning, though. I mean, the third inning, 1-2-3 inning on 10 pitches. And after giving up that home run to Matos, he went on to retire the next 12 Giants he faced. He had 4 punch outs. You saw nasty curveballs. You saw nasty splitties, and then got into some trouble there in the 6th inning. He issued back-to-back 1-out walks there in the 6th. He was missing glove side with that 4-seamer, the cutter, and the curve. He ends up walking Chapman on 4 pitches. He was down the count 1-2, and he ends up walking him. And then a few batters later, Flores singled to left to score Chapman to put the Giants back on top. And this is where I want to give Dave Roberts some credit. And this is where I want to make this point. When Dave Roberts pushes the right buttons, no one talks about it. When he pushes the wrong buttons, everyone talks about it, right? He gets all the credit in the world. He gets all the blame in the world when they lose, and he gets none of the credit when they win. Yesterday was a perfect example of him pulling the right leverage. You saw Dave Roberts go out there with 2 outs, and he gives the ball to Alex Vesia, and Vesia comes out there, and he gets a big strikeout to end the inning. We got the noise by Noel. Yamamoto's aura has been on the rise recently. He's been rocking that LV and Chanel on the regular. Yeah, I see him after games, man. His fit is on point. Mookie told us when we asked him which of his teammates he wanted to switch wardrobes with, he said Yoshinobu Yamamoto. And we know Mookie, he's dressed to the nines too. He's a very well-dressed dude, and he thinks Yamamoto is sharp. So you got to give him credit for that. Farhan gets no swipe rights on Tinder. Okay, it's a bruh. From Nando. Awesome. D-Mac's #1 fan. Your double was awesome last night, D-Mac. Wasn't it great? I mean, look, you saw me. I was slumping a little bit, and of course, it was great to see me get a nice double to win things. The clutch prints coming through on the road. Alex, I'm getting used to Yamamoto giving up 1 bomb per game. I can live with that. Absolutely. Look, with this offense performing the way they are, you'll live with solo shots, right? It's just you can't. That's why it was so uncharacteristic to see those back-to-back 1-out walks there in the 6th inning. He hasn't issued more than 2 walks in any starts this season. But you look at his numbers, they're still really good. A 3.21 ERA, a 3.24 FIP, 27.5 strikeout rate, and a 5.2 walk rate. The number that you do want to see go down is 1.13 home runs per 9. So kind of keeping the ball in the yard is going to be big. So next big up is The Dodgers bullpen, it doesn't matter who's in there. Doesn't matter who's getting the ball. They've been lights out. And yesterday, they slammed the door shut once again. Vesia comes in there in relief of Yamamoto in the 6th inning. He goes a third of an inning. He gets the big punch out with the slide piece. Then Michael Grove, the much maligned Michael Grove, who had recently switched to number 29. He pitched a scoreless 7th. He had 2 strikeouts on 10 pitches. So an efficient 7th for Grover. Then Daniel Hudson, he followed that up with a perfect 8th. Had 2 punch outs. Struck out Estrada with a slider at the bottom of the zone. Struck out Chapman with a 4-seam fastball, top of the zone. So love the way that Hudson is pitching right now. You're seeing him work the eye levels. You're seeing him challenge hitters with that fastball and getting swing and miss with that fastball. That's the biggest key, is getting swing and miss with the fastball. And not all 4-seam fastballs are created equal. You see Walker Buehler, he's struggling to miss bats with his heater, whereas Hudson, he's able to get a big strikeout. And then Blake Trinan, one of the biggest developments this season is the resurgence, the return of Blake Trinan. And Blake Trinan, he entered the game in the 9th in a 4-4 game. He walked the leadoff batter, but then he makes up for it. He picks off Flores there, and then he's able to get out of that inning after infield single to Ramos. He struck out Reitz with a nasty, dirty slider. It was nastier than taking a sip of a Sprite can filled with tobacco. I mean, it was nasty. And then he bounces back and he gets a lazy fly ball to left to get out of that inning. So with Blake Trinan, you're seeing 2 things. You're seeing nasty slider, nasty 2-seam, and everything works around that sinker. When he's dotting that sinker, when he's putting it where he wants to put it, that sets up the slider. That slider, it looks like it should be illegal, right? It looks like you should stop the game and immediately check for sticky stuff. I mean, it's unbelievable. It's sorcery. It's pitchcraft. It's just unbelievable, the movement on that slider. It moves more than military family, like I always say. And then JP Feyereisen, after Will Smith, I should say me, after I hit this go-ahead 2-run double there in the top of the 10th, JP Feyereisen, he comes back and he gets his first save as a Dodger, and he gets a really nice 5-4-3 double play there by Max Muncy. Great turn by Muncy, a great turn from Lux. So all this is to say that this bullpen, they're getting it done, and you're seeing more swing and miss. You saw lots of strikeouts from this Dodgers bullpen, and they were phenomenal, and they're still missing so many key pieces. So really, it says a lot about Bard and the culture of this Dodgers bullpen, that they're still able to be effective despite missing some of their big guys. And we got some updates on those guys in a little bit. Now, my next down for 3 Up, 3 Down today is James Outman is probably going to get sent down. Is James the odd man out man? Is he going to be the guy that gets sent down to AAA? Because Jason Hayward, he is fast-tracked back, right? He's checking off all the boxes. He took live BP. I saw him taking live BP at Petco Park. He joined the Dodgers AAA affiliate Oklahoma City, which is pretty convenient. They're playing Sacramento. So they're in Sacramento, and Hayward was getting playing time with them. And the big question is, well, when are you going to activate him? I think he's activated this week. I think he plays in the series against the Cincinnati Reds. And when that happens, what is the move they're going to make? Are they going to DFA Chris Taylor? Are they going to have a phantom IL to Chris Taylor or another player? Are they going to option Gavin Lux? Are they going to option James Outman? Those are really the options. So first, let's eliminate one. Gavin Lux, they've already said that they're going to give him 150 at-bats to evaluate him. His defense has been great at second. He's also hitting better of late. So he's safe. Gavin Lux is safe. What are the other options? Are you going to phantom IL Chris Taylor? Chris Taylor, Dave said yesterday that CT is not going to be playing in this series, most likely, if it's not for a late-game substitution or a pinch hit situation, but he won't be starting. Doubt it's going to be Chris Taylor. They're not going to DFA CT3. That would be a shock to this locker room. He's too beloved. This organization thinks they can get him back. They can get him back on track, and he can get right for the postseason. And they're just not going to do that, right? I'd be shocked. If they DFA'd Chris Taylor and ate under $30 million to watch him sign a minor league contract with another team. That's probably not going to happen. So what are they going to do? It seemed, my guess, it has to be they're going to option James Outman. They're going to option James Outman, and it's not just because of his performance, it's because of how well Andy Pages has played. And Andy Pages has been fantastic in his stint. He's had some ups and downs, but you saw yesterday, he's able to get another hit. He's actually, you know what? Andy Pages is hitting 517 on first pitches this season. 517. Like, Andy Pages is going nowhere anytime soon. Whereas James Outman, after finishing third in the Rookie of the Year voting last season, he had 23 home runs. He was above average defensively. He was above average offensively. He really looked like he has established himself as the Dodgers center fielder for the next 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 years, because he's still young. He's still pre-arbitration, but unfortunately, it's just been a very slow start for Outman this season. He's just not having the same level of success against fastballs. The breaking balls have been an issue for him. He just has not gotten into a groove. I think just the lack of playing time definitely stunted him. But look, he's on the wrong team for development, right? This is a performance-based business. They need to see the results, and they have so much talent on this team that you better perform or you're going to get optioned. But I mean, last year he had a 4 F4 season. That's very good for a rookie. But what did I call Andy Pages? I called him Mr. Steal Your Job. And that's what he's been. And objectively, if you're just comparing these two players and you're not looking at their names, you're just looking at their stats, there's not one person, not one manager, not one front office that would pick Outman over Pages, right? And that's just unfortunately the situation. If you look at James Outman, you know I bring my facts to the fight. He's hitting 150 on the season. That's 211 out of 211 players within at least 110 plate appearances. So he has the lowest batting average for any player in Major League Baseball with at least 110 plate appearances. He has a 53 weighted runs created plus, so he's 47% below league average. That's 201 out of 211. The slug is down from 437 last year to 270 this year. Average slug is around 380. So I'm not selling my stock on James Outman. I am one of his biggest shareholders. I still think that James Outman is going to be a part of this Dodgers future. I still think that he can be that guy that we saw last year, then get you 20-plus home runs and be an above-average center fielder. If you can get 20-plus home runs in Major League Baseball while being an above-average center fielder, you belong in this league. You belong at this level. I just think that he needs to go down, get everyday at-bats, get that swing right, get that timing right, and then when he gets an opportunity to come up, hopefully he comes up and takes full advantage of it. So this is not anything negative about James Outman. It's just, you guys know about this show. Got to keep it 100. Got to keep it a buck. And that's just the truth, is that right now, that's the best move for the Dodgers, is optioning him. He gets more playing time. He gets more at-bats. He can get a little reset. And then hopefully he gets another opportunity and he looks like the guy that we saw last season. So I think that's what's going to happen. But let me know down below in the comment section, what do you guys think about what move they're going to make when Jason Hayward is ready to go? We got Valhalla Sports Talk. Could they shock us and trade Outman for an arm? I mean, James Outman definitely has some trade value. I mean, he's pre-arbitration, but I don't think that's what they want to do. I think that they're going to wait a little longer to consider those moves. I mean, we're going to talk about it tomorrow. I mean, John Heyman had the Dodgers linked to Justin Verlander. He had the Dodgers linked to Nolan Arenado. So we haven't even really entered the crazy trade season yet. But right now, you're getting Bobby Miller back at some point, hopefully in June. You're going to get Walker Buehler more starts, right? And Buehler is going to only improve with more reps. So look, I think too, who's going to come back from the bullpen pieces? So I don't think they're ready to make a brash trade like that. We got a Steve Van Diest, a 199 super chat. You know, I appreciate that. Send CT3 strikes down. Ouch. Ouch. That hurts. We got unknown 26. Tired of James Chokeman. CT3 can carry a team for a month if healthy. Look, we don't need to call him James Chokeman, okay? James Outman is just going through what all big league players do. You go through slumps. This is the most difficult sport, okay? Noel, I know you love basketball. I know you love the NBA, but you throw an NBA player on a baseball field, they ain't gonna hit a fastball, bro. Like, they give him 100 chances, it's 0 for 100, right?
There's a couple guys I think that can do it, but
Ohtani averages 25. And tomorrow. Maybe his wife. His wife is a baller. Yeah, that's a fire take. That's a fire take for Noel. She can ball too, but I'm pretty sure they probably play horse, probably play some 101. So
Ohtani was a beast swimmer back in the day. He could probably do everything.
you sound like you might have watched the rise of Shohei Ohtani on Dodgers Nation. Definitely go watch that if you have. But exactly. He's an athlete. But kind of the point I'm trying to make here, though, every sport's difficult, especially at that level. These guys, it's kind of, I call them miracles because they statistically beat the odds just to be at this level. But what are my 5 stages of a big leaguer? What are my 5 stages? Stage 1, the dream is realized. You get that call. You're going up to the show. You call your parents. They're crying. You call your girl. She's crying. You call your friends. They all go to the game. And then you put on that big league uniform. And for the first time, you have that welcome to the show moment. You look all around. You soak it in. The stadium, the lights. You say, I have made it. This is my boyhood dream realized. I am a big leaguer. You go out there. You hit a home run like James Outman does in his first at-bat. You show his family. They're all cheering. It's a great story. You make your big league debut. You realize the dream. That is stage 1. That is stage 1 of the 5 stages of a big leaguer. Stage 2, though, is the hardest of all the stages. Stage 2 is prove you belong. Convince everyone that you are truly a big leaguer. That's the most difficult stage because we've seen rookies come up, have success, but you can't sustain it once pitchers, once hitters, once they adjust to you. How do you adjust back, right? That is really the biggest key. Prove you belong. And James Outman is still in stage 2. Does he belong? Is he proving to the Dodgers? Is he proving to teams out there that he is going to be on a big league roster and have a role in this league for the next decade? I think he has the talent to do it. He absolutely has the work ethic to do it. I think he will do it, but we're still seeing him work through that stage, and it's one of the most difficult stages. Now, what's stage 3? Stage 3 is the smash mouth stage. It's the, hey, now you're an all-star. Can you become an all-star? Once you're an all-star, then that proves that, hey, you're a good player. That proves that your arbitration number is going to go up, that you're going to get paid. You could be talking about an extension with a potential team. Stage 4 is get the bag. Stage 4 is get paid. It's sign that long-term deal. It's, okay, my parents are set for life. I'm buying them mansions. I'm buying them Porsches. Ain't nobody have to work ever again, right? I just signed my $700 million contract. Although Ohtani's only getting paid $2 million this year, but you guys know. That's stage 4. Get the bag. Stage 5 is the legacy stage. The legacy stage is Hall of Fame. Am I getting my numbers to be enshrined into the Baseball Hall of Fame? Do I have my World Series moments? Do I have my championship moments? That is the legacy stage. That's where Shohei Ohtani already is. That's where Mookie Betts already is. Mookie, he's got multiple World Series. He has a MVP. Shohei Ohtani, he's got multiple MVPs, and he doesn't have a World Series, right? So when you get to that level, you've made all the money, you made all the all-star teams. It's just enshrining yourself, cementing your legacy. So Outman's in stage 2. There's a lot of guys on this team that are in stage 5. Mookie and Kershaw and Ohtani and Freddie, right? So I think he still has it. I still think he definitely has a really, really good chance to stick. It's going to be a little bit of a step back. But let's not forget, the Baseball Hall of Fame is ridiculous. There's 346 members. 346 members and 20,000 players. Over 20K have played this game. 346 elected members. Baseball Hall of Fame. Unbelievable. But we got Leonardo Blanco. Hey, D-Mac, I get the chills just thinking that playoff time we might be firing on all cylinders if we get everybody healthy and performing. What do you think about that possibility? I think that you have to hope for it. Is it realistic? Probably not everyone, right? You're going to have injuries. They're inevitable. And that's why baseball is the ultimate attrition sport. It's the ultimate attrition sport. And the team that stays healthy, the team that's bullpen and pitching staff can stay intact, those are the teams that win. But for now, let's just keep the vibes up because the bullpen, there's a lot of injuries, right? I mean, Brewstar is out. Evan Phillips is out. I think Evan Phillips will probably be back on Sunday, hopefully. Ryan Brazier's out. I mean, there's a lot of key injuries. Joe Kelly's out. So there are some injuries. Now, next up, though, don't want to leave this guy out. The last up for the 3 up, 3 down today is Gavin Lux. Because I think that Gavin Lux is getting back to being the Dodgers' good luck charm. Because Gavin Lux is turning things around, and he's doing it very, very quietly. Very quietly. Gavin Lux had a multi-hit game yesterday. He had a double, he had a single, but what really stood out is those exit velocities. He had a 105-mile-per-hour single off the bat and the 105-mile-per-hour ground roll double off the bat to tie things up at 3 in the 6th inning. He also had another single early in the game that was 109 miles per hour off the bat. So yesterday, you had 2 base hits, 1 single, 1 double, both over 105 miles per hour off the bat. So what are the criticisms of Gavin Lux offensively? It's doesn't hit the ball hard, doesn't barrel up pitches, and he doesn't get extra base hits. Well, yesterday, he hit the ball hard, and he got a key clutch extra base hit. So you look at Gavin Lux and how he's performed recently. Quietly, I mean, he's just really, it's been sneaky, but he's really quietly put himself in a really, really good spot at the plate. Since May 1st, 27 plate appearances, 7 games. Since May 1st, he's hitting .261 with a .346 on base, a .435 slug, a .347 WOBA, and a .127 weighted runs created plus. He's 27% above league average. You're seeing better swings. You're seeing harder contact. You're seeing him have that line drive approach. That's what you want from Gavin Lux. Line drive approach, gap to gap, and if you run into a home run every now and then, great. But for him, it's about being that second leadoff hitter, getting on base, down the lineup, and turning over the lineup for the MV3, for Freddie, for Mookie, for Ohtani. That is what he does best, and he's played exceptional defense. He's played excellent defense, and it makes me wonder, and I definitely gonna be the first person to throw that out there. But with his offense trending in the right direction, let's say he really finds it at the plate. Let's say his confidence is just, he's hitting like 290. You're seeing him get occasional home runs, get more doubles, and really just gain that confidence, because that's something I want to stress when it comes to Gavin Lux. He is someone that when he's confident, when he's riding high, his ceiling is really high. I mean, you look at his bat speed. I mean, just take a look here. You look at his bat speed here. Look at this double. Look at how he gets his hands through the zone like that. You really can't teach that. That is something that the baseball gods give you. Those hands quick through the zone. When that bat speed's like that and the timing is on point, you're going to see him get more hits. And I think that's what you're seeing with Gavin Lux, is the timing and the mechanics in the lower body. It's just a little more fluid and a little more in sync. And that's to be expected, right? Let's not forget, this is someone who missed an entire year with an ACL injury, right? He wasn't doing anything in between time to get himself to the point where he's facing big league pitching. And you got to face big league pitching for long stretches to just have a chance to hit it with any consistency. And I think that's what you're seeing with Gavin Lux. So look, I like what I'm seeing, and just makes you wonder if something that the Dodgers want to do offensively, as far as Mookie Betts, and maybe they want to move Mookie Betts back to second. Would you give Gavin Lux another shot at shortstop this season? I'm not so sure about this season, but I think that if he proves that he can get it done offensively, you absolutely owe it to yourself to revisit. You absolutely owe yourself to revisit if he could play shortstop long term. If he could be an above average bat, he's proven that he's a really, really good defender at second. He's been great as a second baseman defensively. Now you're seeing someone who's a well-rounded player. It's like everyone wants to freak out about the Dodgers when something goes wrong, right? Infield defense is bad. Max Muncy, he's struggling in spring training. Go and trade for Nolan Arenado, right? No, that's not what they do. Go trade, move off of Gavin Lux. No, that's not what they do. If the Dodgers are shaking the magic 8 ball at the beginning of the season, it's going to say, ask me later. And that later is at the All-Star break. It's after a certain amount of plate appearances. It's after a thorough evaluation period, and that's where the Dodgers are at with Gavin Lux. So really happy to see him having success. And like I said, could you move him back to shortstop? Would they be that bold to move him there during the season? Because Mookie Betts is just so much more comfortable at second base. I saw a comment up here. Is Miguel Vargas a trade target? I mean, Miguel Vargas is raking down in AAA. I'm sure if they wanted to ship some of these guys off and replenish with either a win now piece, I think Miguel Vargas in the outfield, they need outfielders next year, right? I think Pages is going to be a guy. And Pages, for his career, he hasn't had a start to finish great season at any level, right? Because he's had the injuries. So it makes you wonder. We got that Miguel Vargas grand slam at OKC had me dancing. That's from Noise by Noel. We got Danny Cortez freaking out is what we do best. No, I mean, trust me, I'm guilty of that too. I mean, I'm in the freak out business. That's a fire take from Danny Cortez. There's no doubt about it. Trade Lux. That's from Steven Lopez. And that's the thing. If you do want to trade Lux, if Bo Bichette does become available and Gavin Lux is playing like the way he's playing, well, guess what? The Brewers don't need a shortstop right now. The Blue Jays would, right? So it's just throwing it out there, right? I'm actually going on a show tonight that's a Blue Jays show. I'm going to ask him about Show Bichette and that possibility. It's James Outman's birthday. Happy birthday to James Outman. Happy birthday to the great James Outman. And yes, could be a little bit of a setback if he gets optioned, but I think long-term play, this is going to be what's best for him. And I still think he's going to have an impact, not just this year, but for the Dodgers long-term. James Outman, he is a big league center fielder, just going through a really rough stretch, but he'll do what needs to be done to get back. But Doug, is it Blue Jays today? The biggest Blue Jays? No, it's not BC. Forgot what it is. Mike M. Muncy has been doing better at third. Absolutely. Rudy, D-Mac, what are they going to do with the abundance of catcher prospects trade bait? Rudy, great question. Have you looked at the numbers for all those catchers? Cartaya, Lorenzo, outside of rushing, they're not really performing that well. So I don't think you would want to trade him. And unless you're going to trade them when their value is on a higher level. But Leonardo Blanco, hey, D-Mac, is it me or does it look like Muncy is the right person for now at the hot corner? Max Muncy is phenomenal this season. He's been great for this team. He's gotten it done offensively. He's improved defensively. He got in the best shape of his life. He lost some weight. And he just took it just helped him move laterally. He's done a lot better. But that's going to do it for this episode of Dodgers Dugout Live. We'll be back tomorrow morning, guys. So much to get into on this show. We're going to talk some trade possibilities tomorrow. Justin Verlander, I've seen that float out there. Got some thoughts on that. Do they even need a starting pitcher at this point? Big injury updates. Also, I'll be back with you tonight following the game, Dodgers Nation post-game show. Join us right after the game. Hunter Fiducia is next up. That's from Craig Osterberg. Muncy is doing it. Let's do some walk-off shots here, though. Rudy, is Miggy Vargas going to be traded? D-Mac's #1 fan. Trinan doesn't even look real. That man is nasty. Yes. Bruins Steve Grover has been mostly very good recently, with the exception of the hiccup against the Padres. I like what they're doing with Michael Grove. You're not seeing him be forced to be something he's not, right? He is a one-inning reliever that's emptying the tank. I think they have something in Michael Grove. That slider that he got that chase with last night, it was nasty. So there's no doubt about it. But that's going to do it for this episode, guys. If you haven't yet, be sure to subscribe to the Dodgers Nation YouTube channel so you'll be eligible for our Shohei Ohtani jersey giveaway at 95K. Follow me on X and Instagram at DMAC_LA. My name is Doug McKain. You can follow me on Twitter, X, TikTok at DMAC_LA. For super producer Mr. Antonio, Tony Taters. Antonio, what would you do? What would you do with this Jason Hayward, James Outman? What's your move? We're Dave Roberts, Antonio here.
I mean, come on. It's his birthday. I don't want to say what I really mean.
Okay, so let's pretend they have to make the decision tomorrow.
Oh, yeah. I would swap Vargas for Outman, dude. Give Vargas a shot.
Ooh, hot take, Tonio and Fuego. Look, I mean, you guys know how I feel about Miguel Vargas. I mean, I think that he's in a great rhythm down there, and he's proven he can rake against AAA pitching. The Mr. Midnight says article in the LA Times the other day about how Max has been working, getting better at third. He deserves the chance to keep improving. Go Max. Yeah, there's no conversation about that on this show. Max Muncy is my third baseman. Teams would line up around the block for Max Muncy at $12 million a year. No, Max Muncy, he's honestly becoming an iconic Dodger. I mean, he's top 10 in home runs. He's top 10 in Dodgers home runs. But that's going to do it for this episode of Dodgers Dugout Live. My name is Doug McKain. You can follow me at X, Instagram at DMAC_LA. Remember, nothing brings us together quite like Dodger baseball. And until next time, think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out.